In the ancient times of Israel, there lived a man of extraordinary strength and unwavering faith, Samson. His tale, woven in the pages of the Book of Judges in the Old Testament, has captivated generations. Chosen by God, Samson was bestowed with incredible physical power, all thanks to his Nazirite vow, a promise to God that included not cutting his hair. This vow marked him as a dedicated servant of the Almighty. Yet his strength became his vulnerability. Delilah, a woman of cunning persuasion, was tasked by the Philistines to unravel the secret behind his might. Through deceit and betrayal, she discovered the truth: Samson's uncut hair. In a moment of weakness, Samson succumbed to her schemes, revealing his secret. As a consequence, he was captured, blinded, and imprisoned by the Philistines. But even in his darkest hour, Samson's faith remained unbroken. In a final act of heroism and sacrifice, he prayed to God for his strength to return. Empowered one last time, he brought down the pillars of a Philistine temple, ending his life along with many of his enemies. This is the story of Samson. The Book of Judges provides a fascinating glimpse into the ancient history of Canaan, a time when the Jewish people lived in a tribal confederation without a central ruling authority. Instead, the Israelites were governed by a cycle of events. They would turn away from their faith in God, indulge in idolatry, and as a consequence, face oppression at the hands of neighboring peoples, including the Canaanites and the Philistines. The Philistines, often referred to as the Sea Peoples due to their maritime origins, played a significant role as antagonists in the narrative. These seafaring traders not only raided, but also settled in the coastal regions of Canaan around 1100 BCE. They became a constant source of trouble for the Israelites, symbolizing the recurring challenges faced by the Jewish community during that period. The term judge in the Book of Judges does not refer to a conventional courtroom judge. Instead, it signifies individuals chosen by the God of Israel to lead the people in times of crisis. These judges were raised up by God to deliver the Israelites from their oppressors, embodying the divine intervention in their history. In the ancient city of Zorah, there lived a man named Manoah, hailing from the noble clan of the Danites. His wife, though dearly loved, was burdened by the sorrow of barrenness, unable to conceive. One day, a divine messenger, the angel of the Lord, graced her presence with a life-altering proclamation. You are barren and childless, but you are going to become pregnant and give birth to a son. Now see to it that you drink no wine or other fermented drink, and that you do not eat anything unclean. You will become pregnant and have a son whose head is never to be touched by a razor, because the boy is to be a Nazirite, dedicated to God from the womb. He will take the lead in delivering Israel from the hands of the Philistines. But first, let's talk about Nazirite. What does it mean? Well, the Nazirite vow, originating from the Hebrew word Nazir, meaning consecrated or separated one, involved dedicating one's life to God for a specific period or a lifetime, as outlined in Numbers 6. During this vow, a Nazirite was required to abstain from wine, refrain from cutting hair, and avoid corpse contamination, even from relatives. This unique set of rules suspended typical social norms, granting a sense of holiness. Interestingly, Samson, a well-known figure, deviated from these expectations, highlighting the complexities within this religious practice. In this intriguing biblical story, Samson's decision to marry a Philistine woman, despite his upbringing as a Jewish holy man, adds a layer of complexity to his character. In the book of Judges 14, Samson said to his father and mother, "I have seen a Philistine woman in Timnah. Now get her for me as my wife." His father and mother replied, "Isn't there an acceptable woman among your relatives or among all our people?" Must you go to the uncircumcised Philistines to get a wife?" But Samson said to his father, "Get her for me. She's the right one for me." This choice not only challenges societal norms, but also sets the stage for a series of events filled with unexpected turns. Upon his journey to Timnah, Samson's encounter with a lion highlights his exceptional physical strength and fearlessness. Later, the discovery of honey in the lion's carcass serves as a symbol of sweetness emerging from a seemingly strong and fierce situation, mirroring the unexpected sweetness found in life's challenges. The story further unfolds at the marriage feast, where Samson introduces a riddle, a common form of entertainment during ancient banquets. Samson said to them, "If you can give me the answer within the 7 days of the feast, I will give you 30 linen garments and 30 sets of clothes. If you can't tell me the answer, you must give me 30 linen garments and 30 sets of clothes." "Tell us your riddle," they said. "Let's hear it." He replied, "Out of the eater, something to eat. Out of the strong, something sweet." The companions failed to give an answer, so they confronted Samson's wife, threatening to harm her and her family if she didn't get Samson to reveal the riddle. Then Samson's wife threw herself on him, sobbing, "You hate me. You don't really love me. You've given my people a riddle, but you haven't told me the answer." She cried the whole 7 days of the feast. So on the 7th day, he finally told her, because she continued to press him. She in turn explained the riddle to her people. The men of the town said to him, "Samson, what is sweeter than honey? What is stronger than a lion?" Samson said to them, "If you had not plowed with my heifer, you would not have solved my riddle." Plowing with his heifer was a euphemism, an insult indicating sexual activity. Samson's wrath knew no bounds when he sought revenge. Once, he struck down 30 men and took their clothes, a testament to his unmatched strength. When his father-in-law betrayed him, Samson devised a cunning plan. He captured 300 foxes, tied torches to their tails, and set them loose upon the Philistine fields. The fiery chaos that ensued led to a terrible fate for his enemies. Fearful of Samson's might, the Philistines sought the help of other tribes to capture him. 3,000 Judahites bound him, thinking they had him under control. Little did they know that the Spirit of the Lord would empower Samson once more. With divine strength, he broke his bonds and found a weapon in the form of a fresh jawbone of a donkey. In a remarkable display of valor, he struck down 1,000 men, leaving the Philistines in awe of his incredible power. Samson was not without his weaknesses. Despite his extraordinary strength, Samson's heart faltered when it came to his affection for Philistine women. Among these women, Delilah stood out, captivating Samson's heart. Little did he know, Delilah was not the trustworthy love he believed her to be. Driven by greed, the Philistine rulers approached Delilah, offering her a handsome reward if she could unveil the secret behind Samson's strength. Eager for the reward, Delilah tempted Samson with lavish meals, seeking to extract the truth from him. Samson, clever and resourceful, initially deceived Delilah by claiming his strength would wane if he were bound with fresh, unused bowstrings. Twice he escaped her traps, leaving Delilah bewildered and desperate to prove his love for her. Undeterred, Delilah persisted, questioning Samson relentlessly until he revealed the source of his power. His uncut hair, a symbol of his divine strength bestowed upon him by God. Seizing the opportunity, Delilah betrayed Samson as he slept, shearing his hair and delivering him into the hands of the Philistine soldiers. Blinded and imprisoned in Gaza, despite his physical blindness, Samson's inner vision remained clear and resolute. In the depths of his imprisonment, Samson clung to his faith, seeking solace in his connection with the Almighty. In the silence of the night, he whispered fervent prayers, his voice echoing off the cold prison walls. He drew strength from the memory of his divine purpose, the knowledge that he was chosen by God to deliver his people from the Philistine yoke. As days turned into nights and nights into days, Samson's hair, once shorn by treachery, began to grow back, a symbol of his spiritual revival. With each passing moment, he nurtured his inner strength, preparing himself for the pivotal moment that lay ahead. Meanwhile, in the opulent halls of the Temple of Dagon, the Philistines reveled in their victory. They paraded Samson, their prized captive, before the masses, a spectacle meant to showcase their superiority over the Israelites. Unbeknownst to them, Samson's spirit remained unbreakable, his determination burning brighter than ever. Amidst the festivities, as the Philistine leaders and their subjects celebrated their conquest, Samson stood between the imposing temple pillars, a symbol of their false gods and his own unyielding faith. With a heart ablaze with conviction, he pushed against the pillars, channeling the last remnants of his God-given strength. The temple trembled, the ground shook, and a deafening roar filled the air as the massive structure began to crumble. Stone by stone, it fell, burying the Philistine leaders and their followers beneath its ruins. In his final act of defiance, Samson embraced his destiny, sacrificing his own life to secure the freedom of his people.